It's about time. What's going on?
Rumor report, rumor report. This is the Rumor Report.
Talk to him.
With Angela Yee on The Breakfast Club.
All right, well, Idris Elba is saying that he is planning to lean away from acting, and that's because he wants to focus on his music. Now, he was telling Vanity Fair in their 2022 Hollywood issue that he wants to dedicate full attention to music making in the coming years. He said some may think, well, it will be the death of your acting if your music is ish. He said, I've dealt with the internal struggle of that over the years, so now I'm at peace and I've chosen this is what I'm doing and I'm going to do it. Some will love it and some will hate it.
Yeah, I mean, you can't come to those conclusions until you hear the music, right?
Well, at the end of the day, it's what makes him happy, right?
Yeah, and he's been doing music and DJing and doing all of those things. Mm-hmm. And he said he's loved music since he was 4 years old, when he was first mesmerized by the turntable going around and around. And he said the thing about making music, it's a very consuming process. It's very difficult to shoot a movie and then go off into the studio or make a song. It's like trying to build a souffle while making a brick wall.
No.
Let's
More
go.
power to him.
Yes. And sometimes you want to do something like that and be great at it. You got to dedicate all your time and energy to that.
And I don't think Idris Elba will ever have a problem getting an acting role.
No, he won't. But yeah, he's just stepping back from it. All right, and Chris Rock has announced his 2022 Ego Death World Tour. That's his first stand-up comedy tour in 5 years. So that's going to kick off March 30th in Boston and run until November 17th in L.A.
Drop on the clues balls for the god Chris Rock. I cannot wait to see that. The title alone excites me because I don't look at Chris Rock as just a comedian. I look at him as a master teacher. So when I hear the title Ego Death, I'm like, I can't wait to hear what he got to say.
And speaking of comedians, Tommy Davidson was talking to Page Six, and he said that he has not heard from Jamie Foxx since he put out his memoir, Living in Color, What's Funny About Me. And in that memoir, he talked about how Jamie Foxx basically bullied him, and he was tormenting him. Tommy Davidson says that Jamie Foxx reportedly took on the role of tormentor with Davidson as the victim. He also said during an old sketch, Jamie Foxx veered off script and he pulled on Tommy Davidson's underwear, leaving him nearly naked. And he believes that Jamie Foxx used him for a purely self-enjoyment by tormenting him. And he said he has not heard from Jamie Foxx since then. Here's what he said.
Never heard from Jamie Foxx anyway. I wouldn't call it shade. I threw some light on the situation. The book actually was about how my odyssey can help the reader. I just pointed out all the situations that I was in that I was able to eventually transcend. It's really a roadmap for the reader that would help them transcend, get past, get through, not only understand something, but understand it.
What if Jamie hasn't read the book? What if that news hasn't gotten back to Jamie yet?
I'm sure it has, because he went on he came up here to talk about his book, right?
But Jamie, though.
But I'm saying didn't mean have to have read it, but I'm sure that particular part
maybe
really stood out from the book. So
but
I can't imagine no one said anything to him about it.
Maybe not.
Now, he also talked about a time when Jamie Foxx challenged him to a one-on-one basketball game, and Tommy Davidson was up 9-0. He said Jamie Foxx charged at him, and if he would have hit his head on the concrete, that would have been the end of me. He said it turned into a fight, and they had to actually get in between them and hold each other back. But he said, I'm learning to just not to have the world changed for me to be happy.
Yeah, this sounds like my childhood.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
Teasing people, getting teased, playing hard on the basketball court.
Losing, I'm trying to defend you. If I hurt you, I'm upset. But then after we shake hands and keep it moving.
Mm-hmm. Well, he's just saying that Jamie Foxx has not spoken to him since the book came out.
Now you said pulled on his underwear. What was that?
During a sketch, and Living Color was live, so he kind of embarrassed him in front of a live audience while they were doing a sketch, kind of pulled his underwear, exposing him almost to the audience.
You know what I would love to know about the Tommy Davidson situation? How much did they talk prior to the book?
Right. I don't think they were friends.
That's what I'm saying.
Anyway. So.
You know what I mean? I wonder if they didn't talk prior to the book, why would you hear from me after the book come out?
But I think they just asked him a question in Page Six and he answered it. All right, now, Wendy Williams' show, it is official that it's going to come to an end. We talked about this yesterday. I said Love B. Scott always does get some good exclusives, and looks like they were correct. Deborah Mercury has officially announced that it's over, and they announced the news. The co-presidents actually announced the news. They said this is also a bittersweet moment for us and our partners at Fox. We will all have a great love and affinity for Wendy, who grew into a true icon during her 12 incredible seasons as the solo host of a live daily talk show, dishing on hot topics and interviewing celebs. Since Wendy is still not available to host the show, As she continues on her road to recovery, we believe it is best for our fan stations and advertising partners to start making this transition now. As we told you, Sherri Shepherd will be taking over that time slot, but she wants to make it clear that she is not replacing Wendy. Here's what Sherri Shepherd said.
Crazy stories online about me replacing Wendy. And I am here to tell you that that is not true, because no one can replace the queen. Nobody. And trust me, I am not trying to at all. It is Wendy's place to share her story with you. But I do want to give the queen her props and her flowers, because Wendy had a legendary career in radio. And this show was specifically crafted for her. No one can do this format but Wendy.
And Sherri Shepherd herself is, it's amazing. I think she totally deserves this opportunity. And here's what she had to say as she got emotional.
When you're feeling like you have been forgotten, when you're feeling like people say no, it may not be no. God may be saying, it's not time. And when God says, do you trust me? He don't need a lot of faith, just a little bit. And when God says it's so, it will be. Thank you.
Won't he do it, preach? Yes, Sherri Shepherd, congratulations. That is your rumor report.
Dropping the clues bombs for Sherri Shepherd.
Shout out to Sherri Shepherd.
And congrats to Sherri. Clearly, God, has a plan for her to return to daytime TV. And these moments are great because you can look back and say to yourself, damn, I can see why God made me wait.
Absolutely. And I don't know if you mentioned, they didn't get rid of anybody. They're keeping the same staff, correct?
Yeah, we said that yesterday, too. That they would.
All right. Well, congratulations to Sherri Shepherd. All right.
And we have more on that in the next hour. We just ran out of time. So.
All right. Now we got front page news next. What are we talking about?
Yes, Joe Biden, and he is describing the sanctions that he's laying out against Russia for what they are doing with the invasion of Ukraine.
All right. We'll get into that next. It's The Breakfast Club. Good morning.